everyone. Oh, sorry, my chair's way down here. Remember, I'm at booby level. Hello, everyone.
I'm Amy.
I'm Whitney, and this is On the Haunt.
We're recording this episode right after the previous episode, so I can jump right into Haunted. What's it called?
Haunted Housekeeping.
Haunted Housekeeping. The ERA. The Equal Rights Amendment. That was what I meant to say the last episode. It
Your
just
daughter
came
would be
to me
so-
the second I got
So offended.
Well, listen, I know these things. It's just sometimes when you're sitting here, you're recording, you're on the spot, things don't come out right.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Although NWA is
Awesome.
Yeah, really good workout music.
Yes, it is. Okay, girl. Well,
I guess we don't really have a whole lot of news to share because we're recording 2 episodes in one day.
A couple things. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Please send us some emails. I'm doing all this up top so I don't do it at the end. onthehaunt@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Haunted Whitney. Amy is at Amy on the Haunt. I'm going to get that one of these days. We're going to be going live on August 21st at like 8 p.m.-ish Central Standard Time. Sam, I don't know what time that is in New Zealand or day for that matter.
I'm sitting here trying to come up with a calendar in my head. I'm like, well, so will that be the following week after this episode comes out, I think.
Something like that. We don't know. Things are hard. So anyway, be on the lookout for that. It should be quite hysterical and ridiculous as per usual. So anywho.
We may fall in the Mississippi River. You
Hopefully
don't
not.
know.
And then just float to Sam. Sam, we're coming for you.
Via the Mississippi River?
Yes, to the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't know much about geography,
and
but
then
I'm not sure that's
that would
going
be
to work.
The Atlantic Ocean's near there. It's going to be a really long
We're going to be really tired, Sam. Please have snacks.
And a bed. And anywho. Okay. I'm going first this time.
You are.
And this is going to be ridiculous because I don't even know what I have on here.
Mine's really stupid. But
okay, mine is 2.
whatever.
What else is new?
I was like, for the first time in the history of the world, Whitney and I picked the same topic.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because I had
only
nothing.
found out because I saw she was asking about it on Facebook. I'm like, crap,
Yes,
I did this. But I probably should have just threw it to you anyways.
No, it's really
mine's
fine.
terrible, but we'll go for it.
Well, mine's terrible too. Wow, we're really just hyping up our podcast, everyone.
We should be our own PR people.
Yes. Come listen, it's terrible.
We are our own PR people. Who am I kidding?
Right.
We don't have people.
No.
It's us and Chris.
I just realized that I forgot on last Sunday to post our weekly post on Facebook about our new episode. I realized I didn't never do it. And I'm like, see, we don't have people.
Well, we like to have a little mystery about us.
Yeah.
We just did an Instagram Live.
Okay.
Last episode.
Yeah.
Not this one. But for us, that was just like an hour ago. So.
Right. We're in the future past.
We are.
I don't know. Okay. Let's just do this. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I'm doing the Tower of London.
I don't know this.
Kyle's been there. What a show off. Okay. So my sources are Londonist.com. Like it's the Londonist thing ever. Oh my God.
Oh, like EST?
Like IST. Okay. I don't know. That doesn't make sense either. Because it would be EST. God. Also, Travel Channel. Also, Wikipedia. Obviously. Here we go.
Let's go. I'm ready.
You into Meghan Markle? Are you a Meghan Markle hater?
No, I don't hate her.
I don't either. Why does everyone hate her? I don't care enough.
No, I don't either. Just go live your life, girl.
Right. Have you watched The Prince on HBO Max, though?
No.
It's pretty funny. It's like a cartoon, and it's from the perspective of Prince George, and he's just, like, cussing all the time, and it's hilarious. You should watch it.
I'll have to check it out.
And, like, they're all on there, like, Meghan and Harry, like, all the queen. There's, like, these, like, creatures in the basement who make this tart that the queen loves, that they don't have eyes or anything. They were actually, like, chefs, but then they just locked him down there. It's really messed up, but, you know. Anyway, the Tower of London, officially Her Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress of the Tower of London.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about any of that. So anyway,
no.
is a historic castle on the north bank of the river Thames.
Yes, good job.
Thank you. I almost said Thames. Thank God I didn't. But then I told everyone I was going to. In central London. It was built between 1078. I can't even, like, wrap my brain around that. and $13.99. So it's like really big and elaborate, and there's like lots of stuff. It's not just, this one building. There's a lot of things. So I think that whole time they were building. Are you okay?
Yeah.
What is happening to you?
My neck.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do you need to pause?
No, I'm fine.
Do you want me to massage you?
No. Later.
Okay, great. The White Tower, which gives the entire castle its name, does it? Okay. Was built by William the Conqueror. What a jerk. In 1078, and was a resented symbol of oppression inflicted upon London by the ruling elite. So basically, they're all like, more bread, please. We're dying. And he's like,
we're gonna
look
build
at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Has
and
a
you
mother
guys are gonna
effing
build it for us.
Right. Has a mother effing moat.
Of course it does.
I know. How cool
And
though.
probably like so much gold.
Stupid
stuff.
gold stuff.
Just
Frivolous gold.
Yeah. Have we really even progressed?
Right.
No.
It was used as a prison from 1100 until 1952. Is that right? That's what my
That's
reason.
a really long time.
It really is. 800 years. Isn't it disintegrating? Is it still secure?
Nice job, Department of Corrections. I mean, that's...
Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I put a 9 where it should have been like a different number. I don't know. Okay.
But maybe it was.
I don't know. What am I supposed to know
England
this?
is way older than our country. We don't know how
Am I
things
supposed to
work
know this
other
about my own
places.
story? It has been an armory, treasury, menagerie. What does that word even mean? I'm going to look it up.
Isn't a menagerie like a
Let's see if
group? I always thought
Let's see if you're right.
like a collection of stuff.
How come I can't search on here? Can you just Google menagerie? Sorry, pause. Menagerie. We don't know what that means. Or even how to spell it. Okay.
Menagerie. A collection of wild animals kept in captivity for exhibition.
That's a zoo. That is a freaking zoo. So
Quit trying to be so fancy.
right.
Wikipedia.
Oh, it's a zoo. London. God, you guys are so pretentious. Just kidding. Sorry. And home of the Royal Mint. I should have looked up what these things are. To me, that's like where they store money.
Or make money.
Or make money. Public Record Office. And home of the Crown Jewels of England.
Man, they really got their money's worth out of that building.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you keeping that in the prison? The Crown Jewels? That seems like really a bad plan, doesn't it?
I mean,
Let's keep it here with all these criminals?
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Okay.
Maybe it was their form of prison reform. Let's see if they can leave these jewels
Temptation.
alone. They're good.
The guards are just walking around wearing
straight.
wearing the crown jewels.
You like my earrings?
Yeah. This is the one that she throws into the ocean at the end.
And I went down and got it for you.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Oops, I
Did it again.
do you harm. Yeah, again, we're talking about Brittany.
Yeah,
every
if
episode,
you don't
okay?
like it, move
Until
on.
she's freed.
We ain't gonna quit.
No, we ain't.
And even when she is, we're still
going to talk about it. Because she is a national treasure.
She is. She's a genius.
I don't know about that. I do love her. But I mean, I love her with all my heart. Okay.
I love that she was just talking about how she, what was she had that dress on. Was it yesterday?
Oh, J. Crew?
Yeah, J.
I know.
This is J. Crew.
I know. And I love it because they have clothes for men and women. I'm like, Brittany, what?
Many stores do.
And then she wears Target bikinis. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Brittany.
We love you.
She's
also
the
has
best.
clothes for
Men and women.
men and women.
And including
children.
shirts with your face on it, Brittany.
Yes.
And children. Oh, God, I love her. Only 7, back to execution.
Yes.
Only 7 people were executed within the tower before the world wars of the 20th century. I don't know what happened then. I guess it got nasty. Okay, so let's see. Here I'm going to talk about this, but I kind of want to talk about this on here a little bit more because there's like a thing about that, but maybe I don't go into it. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about it here. Okay, so a pair of children's skeletons were found under the stairs in some part of the Tower of London in 1674. Okay, so here's a little bit about what happened there. So these 2 guys were princes. The princes of the tower.
That's it. They ruled over nothing else. They were just princes of the tower.
So they lived there, I guess. Again, I'm so confused. I'm sure I have a ton of this wrong. It's like, why did they live in a prison? You know what I mean?
Well,
because it was a prison from 10, but it's so big. Like, it's also acres and acres.
Maybe just like a section of it.
Was a prison. Who wants to live in a... Anyway...
I mean, let's be real, though, for a minute.
Yeah, let's be real.
Is it really being a part of the monarchy? According to Harry, it's kind of like being in a prison.
It's exactly
that
right.
was me being serious.
God, can he come out with, like, a book? Or they
He is. He's writing a memoir.
Shut it.
No. Please tell me I'm not making that up.
I don't know.
I'm like 99.9%
I will be all over
sure
that.
he's writing a memoir.
I am fascinated by it. Like, I watched the Oprah special, obviously.
Well, yeah.
I mean... racism. That's all I'm saying. Racism in the family.
So they say.
So they say. Allegedly. Okay. We're not even drinking, everyone.
Just some
got some vitamin water and regular water and Walmart water. Moving on. Okay, so the princes of the tower were princes. Their dad was the king. Their dad like died somehow, and then their uncle was supposed to take care of them, but their uncle was basically Scar from The Lion King.
Is this The Lion King? Are you getting your stories mixed up?
No, it's like that's where The Lion King got its idea. I mean, maybe.
Could be.
And so allegedly, it's thought that the uncle killed the two boys so he could, ascend the throne. Is it really that great? I mean, I've watched The Crown. It seems terrible. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I think that was really, really common back in the days when you were dealing with any type of
the
titles
1600s.
Or royalty. Like people, they were so desperate.
Well, they were found in the 1600s. I thought I had it in here somewhere where this actually happened, but yeah. And so their bones were found in the 1600s, and that's funny because down here I wrote their bones were found recently. Define recent. Your version is different than mine. Yeah. And Prince Charles had them buried in Westminster Abbey, so that's nice. They're put to rest. No.
They were found in the 1600s and Prince Charles had them buried?
Yeah, I don't know where they were between the 1600s and when Prince Charles buried them. They were somewhere else.
I thought you meant in the 1600s when they were found.
A different Prince Charles. He's a vampire, obviously. They all are. No, I'm kidding, allegedly. No, so, yeah, I don't know where they were in the middle of that, 1600s to some
Probably
other
a
time.
Museum or something.
Probably. Oh.
Well, I mean,
I know it's sad, but anyway,
like...
now they're buried. But all that to say, children's laughter is often heard. Those two boys are actually seen around wearing white shirts. So yeah, that's creepy. Moving on to Anne Boleyn.
Oh,
yes, that Anne Boleyn. So she was only married to King Henry the VIII for 3 years, but she's one of England's best known queens. You hear her name and you're like, oh, her, okay. Yeah. So she was beheaded at the Tower of London. And there's a lot of reasons why. Like, it's not clear to me. I'm not an expert in Anne Boleyn, so maybe I have all this wrong. And if that's right, then email us. But there's 3 reasons why, potentially. 1, adultery. Allegedly, she was an adulteress, which I think is crap. And who knows?
Because her husband was
an adulteress.
Yes.
Right. 2, she had just had a stillborn baby, and so then they beheaded her, which is such bullcrap. And 3, because she wasn't able to bear a son, or hadn't bared a son yet. They were only married 3 years. Yeah. Give it time.
Have you ever watched the movie The Other Boleyn Girl?
No, but maybe I should. Okay.
I feel like in that it was she hadn't bore a son. Yeah. And so then he was like hooking up with her sister.
Ew,
and
gross.
He wanted to marry her sister, but he couldn't do it while she was alive.
So they beheaded her?
They just like brought up some sort of charges to justify beheading
it's
her.
Well, and it's also like, hey, King Henry VIII, your chromosomes determine the sex of a baby, not hers. So it's on you, son. Also, you just like her sister, which is really crappy. Yeah. So anyway.
And that may have just been for the movie. I don't
who
know
knows?
If that's true.
Do you know? We don't know.
We know nothing.
So she is the most famous ghost that's seen at the Tower of London. Wow. Most often, she is seen carrying her head.
Yikes.
Can you imagine?
No, I cannot. Can you please put me back together before you make me a ghost?
It's so sad. Sometimes she's seen with her head and sometimes she's seen without her head.
She's like walking into stuff. I don't. Did she see what's happening?
She's carrying her head.
We said sometimes with it and sometimes without it.
Well, I mean, sometimes with it on.
Oh.
In its proper place.
Got you.
Oh, no.
If it just happens, I'm like, oh, bam. Oh, there's a wall.
You're a ghost. You don't care. She's like,
might.
don't need this thing anyway. Suckers.
I don't know who I'm haunting.
Woo! You can't even make the woo sound because you don't have a mouth. You're just a silent ghost.
Just rattling chains.
God, these things are heavy. I wish I could get my mouth back, my lipless mouth. Anyway, well, we're really doing all kinds of callbacks from the other episode that you listened to last week. Or maybe didn't at all. Okay.
I think you should.
You should. It was good. Anne's cousin, Catherine Howard, shared the same fate. She was also beheaded. I mean, to be a woman in this time. Her ghost is seen and her screams heard in this Hampton Court, which is some part of the Tower of London, where she briefly escaped from the guards who had come to arrest her and ran down the corridor to plead with Henry VIII, who was attending Mass in the chapel. Maybe that's who. Well, no, you said it was his sister. And then they, she wasn't beheaded, I'm sorry. The guards caught up with her and then just bashed her head in to death. Oh, I know. It's like, what was going on? Okay. Another victim of Henry VIII's, that's why this place is so haunted, who appears at the tower from time to time is Margaret Pole, the Countess of Salisbury. Steaks. That's a terrible joke. Who is said to reenact her own execution. Again, that's just the worst.
Yeah.
You're just constantly reenacting your own execution. She went to the block, yikes, in 1541, but she tried to escape also, running around the Tower Green. She's just like, ah!
Let me out!
Let me get at it! How do I get out of here?
I don't want to be here anymore.
And then the executioner caught up with her and just chopped her head off with an axe.
Oh.
So violent, you all. Sorry. Trigger warning.
Yeah, these executioners
I know.
are
it's horrifying.
horrible people.
Lady Jane Grey is also seen around. She was another queen that was also, doomed. There was a failed plot to make her the ruler, but it resulted in a quick and brutal end to her 9-day reign, where she was also beheaded. They say her spirit looks sadly out of windows. Oh, it's just so sad. Okay. So, let's see. Let's see. What other horrifying things can I tell you about? So, there's one here, though, that is just magical. So, okay. So, there's a story, though. I don't know what year, so don't ask. But a guard was just, walking around the Tower of London and looks over and sees a bear coming at him. And he's like, ah! And then it just, goes through him. It was a ghost bear.
A ghost bear?
Yes, a ghost bear. And then he died a couple days later, of fright, they say.
Oh.
They say. Let's see. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. So, there's a lot of stuff here. It's really terrifying. And that is all. And that's the Tower of
18 minutes. Okay, no pressure for me to carry the show tonight.
Well, I'm just trying to
I don't have much either, so this could be our shortest episode.
Hey guys,
ever.
you know what? It is what it is.
That's right.
I don't want to tell you any more about beheadings. Because it's
cool.
just kind of
traumatizing. If we need to circle back, we'll circle back.
No one says our episodes have to be 60 minutes.
This is true. Okay, I'm going to start with mine by maybe breaking a law. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this.
Mine was 20.
I'm going to do it.
Mine was 10 minutes.
I can't imagine this guy's going to sue me. So
okay. Oh God, what are you doing?
Hang on, please work.
Bill White.
One hot night on a hill at the edge of Louisiana, Missouri.
Stop it.
Reported a huge monster roaming around behind their house. He was big, mean, hairy, smelly, and ugly.
Oh, that's rude.
Within days, this monster, fictitious or real, became a folk legend regionally. The stories of him were printed worldwide. This Missouri monster was nicknamed Momo.
Okay, I'll stop it there.
Momo!
I'm doing Momo. You were gonna do Momo, and then I found out, and I was
No,
like,
I'm
"Oh, do
good.
you want to do Momo?"
No,
I'm
I want
don't
you to
have
do Momo.
So, little info about that song.
Awesome.
That's written by a man, Bill White, from
Bill White.
Ellsbury, Missouri.
Stop it!
My mom has the 45 record.
Of that?
Yes.
Oh my god, is he alive still?
I don't know, probably, maybe.
White, where are you? White with a Y.
Yeah. So, obviously, my topic is
Momo.
Momo, the Missouri Monster.
Have you heard of it? We have. We live here.
Yeah, brace yourselves. It's a great one.
It's smelly.
So, my sources are the Lincoln County Journal.
Oh,
That's our local paper. Sorry,
Yes, it
we're
is.
super excited.
that's cool.
Vice.com.
Yeah.
And I sat through
Oh god.
an episode of Monsters and Mysteries in America.
On travel?
Yes.
Okay.
So here we go. Buckle up. It's
Buckling
gonna be a bumpy
in.
ride because I don't even know.
Buckled in.
So Momo is a local, well, for us, local legend similar to the Bigfoot of the Pacific Northwest. He was so popular back in the 70s, they wrote a song about him.
Right, you just
You
heard
just
it.
heard it. And apparently there's a low-budget horror movie.
Oh,
I've never seen
my
it,
God.
called Momo the Missouri Monster, so we should probably try to find it.
100%.
And the person, Norm McFadden, who wrote the article for the Lincoln County Journal, said he was able to track down a copy of it, but it wasn't easy to find.
Was that before the intranet?
No, he just said because it was never like, it never had like a large public release, so it was hard tracking down the movie itself, but he said it was absolutely horrible.
I'm sure. But that's our favorite.
So a little bit about Momo.
Okay.
Momo's reported to have a large pumpkin-shaped head.
What?
What a big head. All these top-heavy creatures.
I've never heard that.
With a furry body. He has long black hair that looks like a shaggy rug,
Ew.
which hangs down and covers his eyes. He can't see either. Him and Anne Boleyn are just running into stuff together.
Imagine them together. Just imagine it.
What a cute couple.
Oh, they're in love.
What would their
don't
their
care.
couple name be?
Molin.
Moanne. No, that's
I
a
put
faucet.
Mo with Bolin.
I'm just like, Moen Fawcett, anyone? Okay. Anyways, he's said to stand around 7 feet tall and have a terrible musky odor. The first public report of him was made in 1971 near, where are we going on a haunted tour in a couple weeks? Louisiana, Missouri.
Yeah.
The report was made by Joe Mills and Mary Ryan.
Joe Mills and who? Mary Ryan.
It said that Momo liked the Mississippi River because all the reports at the time came from right along the river. Well, if you know
Interesting.
anything about Louisiana, Missouri, that's
the whole
river
town.
runs the
It's
whole
that.
length of the town.
Well, maybe he's getting
Beautiful
some
town,
fish.
by the way. So
It is.
let's talk about the most well-known report of Momo. It took place on the afternoon of July 11th of 1972. It was a hot afternoon with a slow, warm wind. 8-year-old Terry Harrison and his 5-year-old brother Wally were playing in their backyard at the foot of Marzoff Hill on the outskirts of Louisiana. Their older sister Doris, who we'll get to in a little bit, she was on Monsters and Mysteries of America.
Doris.
Doris was inside the house when she heard her brother screaming. She looked out the window and was shocked and horrified by what she saw. And that is not how she recounted it exactly. So maybe I'm going to skip down. She's
like, I was just averagely afraid.
Okay, so I'm going to skip down, though. You might be asking yourself, well, if that happened in Louisiana, which is in Pike County, why are they writing a story about this in the Lincoln County Journal?
Oh.
Well, on June 20th of 1972, a full month before that sighting in Louisiana, 2 young men from Troy were out at a secluded area of the Quiver River. The 2 men were named Tim and Vaughn. and they had spent the day fishing from a high bank that overlooked a lower bank on the opposite side of the river.
Ugh.
As Vaughn stood to take a break, the two noticed an awful smell in the air. And I don't know if Vaughn is his first or last name, because if that's his last name, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Could be some of your family.
I know.
Vaughn looked around and saw what he thought was a naked, hairy hippie.
Sounds like my family.
No, I was going to say, sounds like something we'd see along Quiver River on
That
Highway
too?
61. We always see crazy stuff.
Oh my God. What?
A naked, hairy hippie.
I mean, it's the 70s.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's called Razors. Walking along the opposite side of the river, Vaughn hollered at Tim, "Look at the hippie!"
That's definitely my
Who he
family.
figured must have been on some of the wacky tobacco.
Oh my God.
Great editorial here in the Lincoln County Journal.
Wacky tobacco.
Tim jumped up and looked, but Tim knew that wasn't a hippie.
Tim's like, that's a
Tim's an expert.
in hippies.
And it looked as if its head sat right on its shoulders. How? No neck.
No neck.
I can't look at anything.
You just can't turn. You have no range of motion.
Ow, I forgot my neck was hurting.
Yeah, my
I
neck
shouldn't be
hurts too
reenacting
now.
that. Both men tried to come down the bank to get a better look, but the creature turned and charged right for them, causing them to panic and flee for their lives. Obviously. Oh God, I hadn't read this part.
Oh God.
This is by my house.
Stop it.
No. So in July of 1972,
Probably shouldn't say
a
that.
second report comes from a man and woman from West Virginia who were passing through Missouri. They had stopped at Logan Conservation Area in northern Lincoln County to stretch their legs.
Stop
That's my
it.
house. When they left their vehicle, they smelled something that smelled like an entire family of skunks. Well, probably was an
Wacky
entire family of
tobacco.
skunks
Or
at my
wacky
house.
tobacco.
When they looked around, they saw it standing there.
So Momo smells like skunks.
Yeah.
That's not what I would imagine.
Yeah. So they saw him standing there, his big pumpkin head and glowing candlelight.
What?
That was a jack-o'-lantern.
What?
It let them know who he was.
Or like, what's the thing? The guy that has a pumpkin for a head?
Pumpkin head?
No. You know, he like rides
The movie Pumpkin
he
Head?
rides a horse.
Oh, the Headless Horseman?
Yes. He doesn't have a pumpkin for a head, does he? He just holds his head. Anyway.
Well, if you've read like the Scholastic book version, it's holding a pumpkin for its head.
Yeah, because holding an actual head would
But
be
then it
really...
throws a pumpkin at Ichabod Crane. So I'm like, are you throwing your own head?
Yeah, and like, I guess for children, holding an actual head would be really traumatizing.
Probably.
Okay, moving back.
All right, so he was nearly 7 feet tall and had to weigh 400 pounds. He ran for them and they ran straight for their car. They barely made it inside when he reached it and shook their car and tormented them for 30 minutes before finally tiring of them and
Gosh!
disappearing back into the woods.
That's really not
So
okay.
it says whether you're on the Pike County Hills or the Lincoln County Forests, there's some spooky stories out there about Momo, aka Bigfoot. So let's talk about the Vice.com article. So it says sightings of Missouri monster or Momo exploded the year that the town experienced the monster fever. Again, we're talking about Louisiana back in the 70s. I don't know that I really want to read some of this because it talks about it on Monsters and Mysteries in America, which is so much more entertaining because it's people,
Yeah.
you know,
Missouri
from
people.
Louisiana telling the story.
Missourians. We're a special breed.
We really are. One of the few surviving Momo witnesses. What? It was only the 70s. God, it wasn't that long ago. Vice.com.
Calm down, Vice.
Richard Allen Murray told Motherboard, I don't know what Motherboard is, but it's something that
No.
I guess Vice is citing, that he was driving near Louisiana's Town Branch, which is a small creek that runs through the middle of town at around 11 p.m. As he was passing a small hill, he noticed something moving. Turning his truck towards the hill, his headlights illuminated a strange, upright figure covered in brown hair. Murray guessed the creature was about 20 feet away, and when it realized he was there, it quickly hurried over the hill and disappeared. Murray, a lifelong local who has served as the town's fire chief and sat on the city council, was surprised by his sighting. I was amazed to see something. I just thought it was a bunch of nonsense, but then I saw something, he said.
There you go.
In hindsight, he said he guessed it could have been a bear, but he supposed the monster
We don't
was on
have
everyone's
bears
brain.
here.
No, we don't. Then he goes on to talk about how 50 years later, the indie filmmaker Seth Breedlove,
What?
that's his name,
Breed love?
released the film Momo the Missouri Monster. In the film, allegedly, I haven't seen it, I don't know, he weaves together documentary format with fake 1970s B-movie vignettes
What?
to tell the story. It's a cool, campy movie destined to become a cult classic. No, it's not.
Vice. It didn't.
Move on.
It didn't, Vice.
It's a ripping off Blair Witch.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they go on to kind of compare it to like how, you know, some towns like in West Virginia have Mothman and turn it into all this like festivals and
Yes.
stuff.
We should do that.
Well, they said Louisiana tried to do that, but people were like, no, we're not really into that. But it's so funny because I was telling my mom that I was going to do this topic. And so she's been finding all these like ads from back in the 70s that people were using. Like, oh, Momo loves our store in Louisiana.
That's
Come shop
funny.
here. So kind of fun
love
stuff.
that.
So even though like the whole festival thing didn't
We
take
should
off,
start a festival, Amy.
they really did try to kind of
Capitalize on it.
capitalize on it. So let's go to the episode of Monsters and Mysteries in
Yes.
America. So it opens with a scene of Louisiana, Missouri. There's like traffic driving, and I'm like, that's Georgia Street. I know what that is.
That's awesome.
Back in my youth, I spent
Many
many weekends at
cruising
Louisiana.
Georgia Street.
I really did. It's so funny because if you're not from a small town, you probably wouldn't understand. But when you're from a small town, you don't really want to date boys from your own small town because they're just always there. They're at your high school. They're living down the street from you. So I grew up just on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River, directly across from Louisiana, Missouri. So always would go as a teenager, dated
Over there.
many a fine young lad from the lovely town of Louisiana, Missouri.
Great times.
We called them river rats, and they called us swampies. I don't know. Whatever.
Wow, it's basically like Grease.
It really was.
That's amazing.
Well, it's like on The Outsiders. What were those? The greasers and the...
Oh, crap. Why do we... Nope, I don't have it.
I don't either.
Do you talk at all about footprints?
One.
Okay.
But if you want to add to it, please do.
Okay. Just because I know someone who may have it.
Oh. Okay, it might be this lady they...
Well, this is a guy who's I know from high school whose grandpa, he says he has it. He has the
could
cast.
be this family then.
Okay.
Probably is this
All right,
family.
let's hear it.
All right.
Can't wait.
So we've got this guy on there. I think his name was maybe Robert Bliss. They interviewed him, and he was talking about how Momo is short for Missouri Monster. That's what it stands for. But he said he thinks that sounds way too cute for what this thing actually is, because it's pretty terrifying. So then they interviewed Doris Harrison. She's the girl from the news article. I started telling them, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to pump the brakes because she actually gives her firsthand account, and I would rather talk about that. So she says, how'd you
find this article? How'd you find this video? Is it on like YouTube?
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go watch it when we're done here.
So she says seeing this creature changed her life. So she was home watching her 8 and 5-year-old brothers.
How
they were
terrifying.
playing outside. And she said they went more towards like the tree line at the back of their property. And that's when she heard them yelling. And they came running into the house saying they saw something really big. And even though she didn't believe them, she was like, you guys need to just stay in the house. You know, let's not go back outside. Let's stay inside.
Yeah.
So because in that article it was saying she looked out while they were still out there and saw, but this is not how she retold the story.
Yeah.
So then she looked out the window and saw the creature out in their backyard, and it was carrying something bloody. There was blood dripping off of it.
Ew, what?
They believe it was a dog.
What?
So
Think about how fast you'd have to be running to catch a dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if it were my dog, it would be very fast. Just bend over and pick her up.
But okay, that's weird.
Yeah. So it scared her to death. So she called her dad.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yes.
They're like, Dad.
He probably worked at Wholesome or something.
Probably.
Bungie.
Or Casey's.
Or Casey's.
It was her Casey's back then.
Surely.
And then she also called her boyfriend, Richard. And so they're interviewing Richard on this episode, too. So he's
that's awkward.
They're
They have
not
to
a couple anymore.
Right, but they have to see each other after all this time.
Well, they weren't together in the interview.
I know, but how weird. You're like...
And they may be married. I don't know. So...
Small town love.
So Richard came over, and of course, she's hysterical. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. We'll figure this out. So Richard and her dad went out in the woods behind the house to search for it. And they never found it, but Richard did say that all the grass and the weeds in that area where she had seen it was very trampled down. So something clearly something very heavy had been there.
Or you have a peeping Tom.
So right around the same time, ew. Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
I used to have one of those lived out.
Did you? Ew, yeah. So gross. Sorry for
So
that.
many dogs in the area turned up missing around this time. So a lot of people speculate that Momo has an appetite for dogs.
Wow. I guess there's maybe nothing. Well, no, there's tons of other things like rabbits, foxes.
Yeah, but
why dogs?
It just likes dogs. I don't know. So that's why they think that that's what it was carrying when she saw it out the window too, as a bloody dog corpse. Sorry, I'm trying to add some
flair
thrill to this.
Bloody dog corpse.
So the Harrison family are like, okay, this happened. This was terrifying. We believe you, but let's try to return to some normalcy.
Yeah.
So how do we return to normalcy? Let's assemble a prayer meeting of our family and friends in our yard.
That's Louisiana, in your yard.
Yeah. So then there's like this reenactment of them having this they're sitting around a campfire, having their prayer vigil. I don't know what it is. And during the meeting, they heard something holler.
Stop
as they
it.
described it. And they said it was blood curdling. So Doris is Harris. Doris Harris. I'm like, who's Doris? I
thought you said Doris's hair. And I was like, where is this going?
Stood on end. So her dad yelled, it's coming up the hill.
Oh my God.
So there's like all these people, men, women, children. And her dad's screaming,
get inside.
So the whole prayer group
goes inside?
Just, takes off running.
Oh my
There are kids screaming. Everybody's freaking out. Yeah, they all run inside. So shortly after that, the Harrison family left their home.
Yeah.
And advised everybody else to stay away. So then we cut to this lady named Christina Windmiller.
Kyle's
Is this
related.
the cast?
No, but Kyle's related to Windmillers.
Okay. So she recalls when she was in elementary school that, and if you've ever driven, like when you're driving into Louisiana on 54, I can only imagine that was that school there was the elementary building then. And she said, it's like just a little 3-story building, but the kids that were in the classrooms on that top floor all looked out the classroom window one day and saw Momo, and so did 2 teachers.
Oh,
so the entire class saw them. So now we go to Dave Miner. They're interviewing Dave. He's obviously an older guy now, but he recalls when he was 14 years old, he could hear his uncle outside yelling. His uncle had been resting on the porch, just, as one
porch
does. Sitting. And his dog was nearby, and the dog started barking. So the uncle was like, what are you barking at? And he had a flashlight handy. So he turned on the flashlight and was looking kind of out in the woods and by the trees, shining it. And then all of a sudden, can you imagine just shining your flashlight? And then all of a sudden,
over.
Bam, there's Momo standing in your flashlight. So he thinks Momo was coming to get his dog.
Oh my God.
So it became front page news.
Yes.
Obviously. And press from all over the place was coming to Louisiana. And Doris was like, I just wanted to be left alone.
Yes.
And they were hounding me. She's like, I didn't want to talk about it. It was very traumatic.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't believe me.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. She's like, I did not want to talk about it, but they just kept hounding her.
Yeah.
So now we go to Mayor Tom Wallace, who said a lot of, you know how you always see on like movies and stuff when there's like a killer on the loose and parents like aren't letting their kids go anywhere and do anything.
Curfew.
So it's kind of like that. Like the parents like didn't want their kids to go anywhere. People were like keeping a really tight leash on their kids and their family. So at the time, even though Tom, I guess he's mayor now, but at the time he led a Boy Scout troop.
Nice.
So he's like, okay, what are we going to do to earn a badge this week?
Oh my God.
We got to go look for Momo. So he took his entire troop, Boy Scout troop, out into the woods up on Star Hill.
Yep. That's where I thought Momo always lived, on Star Hill.
So there was even a guy they were interviewing who at the time had been a child in this Boy Scout troop.
That's dangerous.
And he was like, we were scared to death. He's like, they split us up in pairs.
Oh my gosh.
And they scoured the entire area. But luckily they didn't find anything. Because I'm thinking, that wouldn't fly nowadays.
No.
Tom Wallace.
No.
And who are the parents? Like,
Go ahead.
Take
we
my
love that
kid.
badge.
It'll be good. So then Momo just kind of disappeared. Like, all this, no one really heard anything about him for a while. Then Christina, back to Christina Wimler, her father got a phone call from a friend of his who said that there were prints in his garden. So her dad took a plaster cast of the footprint. So she had it on the show and was showing it. And even scientists have looked at this cast and they're very perplexed because if you look at it, you can see that it has 3 toes. And its heels sink really deeply when it walks. And they're like, there is no animal or no mammal
that does that.
That runs on 3 toes.
Yeah.
And heels sink so deeply under its weight when it's running. So no further trace has ever been found of Momo, but numerous residents of Louisiana do believe that he exists. And I always grew up hearing stories of Momo.
Oh, 100%.
Never necessarily any first-hand accounts, but just kind of, it was just general knowledge.
Yeah.
Growing up that close to Louisiana. And like I said, my mom's got the 45
of that song.
Of the song.
I know when I posted on Facebook, so this guy I went to high school with, he claims that his grandpa has the a cast, which maybe I'll reach out to him and see if I can get a picture
be from that family.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's been passed along. And then another girl I went to high school with, her name is Brett. She commented on my thread and said that I believe she said that like her brother and a friend claimed to see Momo. They live outside of Louisiana, down Highway 79 towards Clarksville. Her parents do. And yeah, they claimed those 2 boys claimed to have seen Momo too one time. They just like came barreling out of the woods, freaked out.
Oh.
So it's scary stuff, man.
I'm hoping I don't ever see Momo.
No, I could do without that. Yeah. That's for sure.
All right. Well, this was a little bit shorter one, but that's okay. We're still at like 43 minutes.
Fine. We're not guaranteeing you all anything.
No.
This is just us doing our best.
That's
here,
right.
okay?
Whitney's got to get home and put her children to bed.
I do, and I have to pee so badly.
But we didn't even take a potty break.
No, we didn't.
Episodes.
At least it's not a poo. That's all I'm
right.
saying. Thank you all for listening.
Yes,
we do love you, people.
We do.
And
you mean the world to us. Sending us gifts. So sweet.
Stop it. That's so nice. If anyone else wants to send us gifts.
The greatest gift of all would be to rate, review,
and subscribe. Follow. I think that's what it's called on Spotify.
Yeah. Do wherever you listen to us, do whatever you need to do to us.
Yes.
To get us places.
Yes, please. Share our stuff on socials. Like if you're on Facebook or Instagram, share it, man.
We've been approached about maybe endorsing people
yes,
in ads.
That's true.
So,
a taco, a John.
Yeah, so we may be starting that. You want us to plug your stuff?
Hey, we could put more money towards... Don't plug somebody's stuff, Amy. We could put more... I could put more time to this if it were my full-time job. Hint, hint. Okay. Anyway, we love you.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye.